stayed at the resort, the Disney resort.
Yeah, he didn't just take you to Hawaii.
Yep.
That's great.
We got spoiled.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
How you doing?
He's a good guy.
I think you
Saw your cousin here a couple of days ago, Kim.
Kim,
How about your
Yeah.
ladies?
I still see Hal and Terry quite a bit, even though they've
saw
moved.
Hal.
Did you see Hal?
Yeah, and Terry.
Yeah, did you?
So, we don't do anything.
Right.
We'd like to welcome you to our Planning Commission meeting today on January 13th, 2026. We'll begin today with an invocation by Commissioner Call, and then Commissioner Showers will lead us in the pledge.
Our Father in heaven, we gather this evening in this Planning Commission meeting. We are grateful to be here together. We are grateful to have the opportunity to serve with Lindon City. We are thankful for those that we serve with, and we are grateful for the citizens that we have the opportunity to serve and help. We pray that thou will help us this night, help us to do those things that thou would have us do, and to be fair and careful with our decisions. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
We'll begin our meeting today with an audible roll call of the commissioners. Sharon Call.
Here.
Mike Marchbanks.
Here.
Rob Callis.
Here.
Steve Johnson here. Scott Thompson is excused. Jared Showers.
Here.
Karen Danielson.
Here.
Ryan Doan.
Here.
The next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from our last meeting on December 9th. The commissioners have received these beforehand and have had a chance to review them. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? I didn't see any, so. If there are no corrections or additions, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The voting is unanimous. The next item on our agenda is a time for public comment. This is a time for anyone here that would like to address the commission on a matter that's not on the agenda. Is there anybody here for that purpose? It doesn't look very full for that purpose, so. Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 4 on our agenda. Item number 4 is a plat amendment for Ken's Cove Plat C. It's at 352 North, 540 West. The applicant is Benton Crane. Our presenting staff is Brittany Wild. And if you want to come up, in case we have questions or whatever, we can. And then we'll turn the time over to Brittany to give us our presentation.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. This application is for a plat amendment to incorporate additional land that is being purchased from the property owner at 540 Lakeview Road. The surrounding zoning and land use for this area, let me grab a few things here. The surrounding zoning and land use for this area is residential. It's low density. In the north, we have R120 zone. In the east, it's R120 again with a vacant lot nearby. The south is also R120 with a vacant lot, and the west is an R120 zone as well. So for our subdivision standards, Lindon City Code 17.32.070 references Utah Code for requirements amending a subdivision plat. Under Utah Code 10-20-811, an applicant may petition the Land Use Authority, Planning Commission, to join two or more of the petitioner fee owners' contiguous lots. City staff has found that the plat amendment for this application meets Utah Code as it adjusts the lot lines of adjoining lots or parcels of the fee owners. We have provided notice to the adjacent property owners in accordance with local ordinance. And here is the plat amendment that they are going to be doing. So for the finding facts, Benton Crane owns the property here at 352 North, 540 West, parcel number 4423004. The proposed plat incorporates a portion of the property located here at the west, which is 540 West Lakeview Road, parcel 14,067,0175, and consolidates it into the existing lot and parcel owned by Mr. Crane. The proposed plat amendment is located in the residential R120 zone, and the subdivision and lot requirements for a residential lot in this zone shall not be divided by municipal or county boundary lines, road, alleys, or other lots. We have found that Mr. Crane is compliant in that. All residential lots shall front on a public street. Side lot lines shall be at right angles or radial to street lines except where justified by the subdivider and approved by Planning Commission. Easements shall follow rear and side lot lines whenever practical and shall have a minimum total width of 10 feet apportioned equally in abutting properties. This property does have a 30.42 foot wide storm drain access easement in the back of the property, and it also has a 10-foot public utility easement at the front of the property as well. But it is compliant as well. Also, no lot shall be created which is more than 3 times as long, and the minimum lot size is 20,000 square feet. City staff has found that it is compliant for all of these items. The city engineer has reviewed the plat and is working on any final technical changes. And for staff analysis, the city supports this subdivision and plat amendment, and the plat amendment meets the city subdivision and zoning requirements.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions by any of the commissioners about the presentation?
Gosh, it seems like it meets all the,
So you're just adding a
All the
little bit of that property that's there. Was it just, are you acquiring it from the other landowners? Which is, I think, the Lichties now, used to be the old Swenson place. Okay. I don't have any objections. Unless there's other questions, either for the applicant or staff, I'd call for a motion.
I can make a motion. I move to approve the applicant's request for plat amendment approval of Kansco Plat C with the following conditions. The applicant will continue to work with city staff to make all technical corrections as necessary to the plat prior to recording. Prior to plat recording, the applicant will update the final plat Mylar to include notarized signatures of the owner's consent to dedication and obtain signatures of all entities indicated on the subdivision plat attached here to. And number 3, all items of the staff report.
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The voting is unanimous. You'll work with the city to finish up whatever you need to get done.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming in. The next item on our agenda Item 5 is some open and public meetings training, and I'm guessing that's why Brian's here.
That's why I'm here. It's that time of year, our annual fun training that we do, and I've got some good news and I got some bad news.
Uh-oh.
Bad news is I was working on this fun game to play, and it was gonna be really cool, and then my computer crashed. Good news is my computer crashed, and instead of a 25-minute game, we get to watch a 7-minute video. And so we're going to the movies tonight, and when we go to the movies, Whitney's gonna help me out. We gotta have popcorn, we gotta have some candy. So we got some that we're gonna pass along and around, and this video was prepared by the state auditor's office. And so there are some things that are specific to the state auditor. They talk about a procurement code. We don't need to worry about that at all, but just watch it, and if there's any questions you have afterwards, we can
He was
take those,
kidding.
but this should be pretty quick. So, anyway.
Well, I had already heard that the city council got popcorn and candy, so it's a good thing.
And I brought
You didn't
plenty for
disappoint.
everybody, so make sure you come and get some popcorn and some candy. So, and Mike will play that video here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I thought those were M&Ms.
Make our chairs recline like we're.
Yeah, you just kick
in a
back.
lounge.
relax.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We ran it through the mic here.
Thank you.
We need to change the. Is it running through there? Technical difficulties.
In time.
Yeah. I guess they can see us on the Zoom eating our popcorn and candy. I don't know how we got.
Connie and I watched the whole 3.5-hour new Avatar
Oh, you did?
3D movie with the wrong 3D glasses on. The wrong 3D glasses on, so it was blurry the whole time. He took them off and it was blurry, you put them on, it was blurry. Yeah, they handed us the wrong one. I guess there's 3D and real
My money
3D.
back.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I was too tired to go bug them during the movie.
You don't want to watch it again.
No, I don't really wanna go through it again.
Oh dear, is there?
No, it really was pretty good. I would've liked to seen it with, clearly.
Well, we might have to just listen to it through the TV, which will be a little bit quiet, but we'll tell you to silence your cell phones and, like they do in the movie house.
That's what our wife thinks she's having quite a party over there.
So what is the Open and Public Meetings Act? It's the state law that ensures government
Who's
actions.
good? Yes?
So what is the Open and Public Meetings Act? It's the state law that ensures government actions and deliberations are openly conducted. Before we continue, keep in mind this video is an overview, and exceptions may exist based on your interest. We focus on local government.
You better hurry, it's almost over.
Yeah.
What's considered an open and public meeting? It's when a public body forms known as a simple majority meets to discuss or act upon government business. It includes the meetings sometimes referred to as workshops or executive sessions. Regular meetings, public hearings, electronic meetings, and emergency meetings are all open public meetings. Open and public meetings don't include chance or social events. Public hearings is a adopts a budget, imposes or increases taxes or fees, and transfers money from an enterprise fund. These meetings have extra notice and posting requirements and won't be addressed in this video. An electronic meeting is a type of open and public meeting that's convened electronically, such as via phone or the internet. Remember, the governing body must adopt a resolution.
so bad with your kids, they would not have done that.
So what is the Open and Public Meetings Act? It's a state law that ensures government actions and deliberations are open and conducted. Before we continue, keep in mind that this video is an overview and exceptions may exist based on your entity type. We focus on local government, not state requirements. When in doubt, read the law and consult with your legal counsel. So what's considered an open and public meeting? It's when a public body quorum, also known as a simple majority, meets to discuss or act upon government business. It includes the meetings sometimes referred to as workshops or executive sessions. Regular meetings, public hearings, electronic meetings, and emergency meetings are all open and public meetings. Open and public meetings don't include chance or social meetings. A public hearing is a type of open and public meeting where citizens have a reasonable opportunity to speak. Public hearings happen when a government adopts a budget, imposes or increases taxes or fees, or transfers money from an enterprise fund. These meetings have extra notice and posting requirements and won't be addressed in this video. An electronic meeting is a type of open and public meeting that's convened electronically, such as via phone or the internet. Remember, the governing body must adopt a resolution, rule, or ordinance allowing and governing electronic meetings. OPMA adds additional requirements too. An emergency meeting may be held to discuss an urgent matter due to unforeseen circumstances. In order to hold the meeting, the best notice that's feasible is provided of the time, location, and topics to be considered. An attempt is made to contact all governing body members, and a governing body majority approves the meeting. An open and public meeting may be closed to discuss any of the following: a person's character, competence, or health, collective bargaining, litigation, certain real property transactions, including any form of a water right or water shares, with specific restrictions, security personnel, devices, or systems deployment, investigations of criminal misconduct, and private or protected information for the Utah Procurement Code, including trade secrets. A closed meeting may be held only if a quorum is present and the meeting was properly noticed. 2/3 of the governing body present at the meeting need to vote yes to close a meeting. Quick math lesson. 2 divided by 3 equals 66.7%. Let's say your governing body has 5 members present at the meeting. If 3 out of 5 members vote yes, that equals 60%, which is not equal or greater than 66.7%, which means you're 1 member short and would need 4 out of 5 members to vote yes. During a closed meeting, a governing body can't interview someone applying to fill an elected position, discuss filling a midterm vacancy or temporary absence, discuss the character, competence, or health of a person whose name was submitted for consideration to fill a midterm vacancy or temporary absence, approve any ordinance, resolution, rule, regulation, contract, or appointment, or take a vote, unless it's a vote on a motion to end the closed portion of the meeting and return to an open meeting. When a governing body closes a meeting, the following must be publicly announced and entered into the minutes of the open meeting at which the closed meeting was approved. The reason or reasons for holding the closed meeting, the location where the closed meeting will be held, and the vote of each member of the governing body either for or against the motion to close the meeting. If a closed meeting is discussing a person's character, competence, or health, or security personnel, devices, or systems deployment, or several other exceptions, mostly related to state bodies or project entities, no recording or minutes are required. However, the presiding member needs to sign a sworn written statement stating such. If the closed meeting is held for any other reason, a recording must be made, which includes date, time, and place of the meeting, names of members present and absent, and names of all others, except where disclosure would infringe on the confidentiality necessary to fulfill the original purpose of closing the meeting. Regular open and public meetings require 24 hours notice. The public notice includes the meeting, agenda, date, time, and place. Public meeting agendas need to include reasonably specified topics to be considered, with each topic listed under a separate agenda item on the meeting agenda. The governing body may not consider a topic in an open meeting that wasn't on the agenda. If a new topic not on the agenda is raised by the public during an open meeting, the governing body may discuss the topic. However, final action may not be taken on the new topic during that meeting. Additionally, entities holding regular meetings scheduled in advance over the course of the year need to provide annual notice of the entire year's meeting schedule. The notice must include date,
Notice is posted on the public body's website, in a public location such as the location where the meeting will be held, and on Utah's public notice website in accordance with Utah Code 63G-30-102.
Typically, posting on the public notice website is done by the records officer, recorder, or clerk. However, it's the governing body's responsibility to ensure notice is provided. State Archives has prepared a training manual and quick guide for owners and posters, as well as training videos that can be accessed at their website, archives.utah.gov. Written minutes and a recording are kept of all open meetings, with few exceptions. Written minutes include the date, time, and place of the meeting, the names of members present and absent, the substance of all matters, names of citizens providing comments, the substance of the comments provided, any information a body member requests be entered into the minutes or recording, and a record by individual member of each vote taken. A body with elected members must record each vote in list format by category for each action taken by a member, including yes votes, no votes, and absent members next to each member's name. A recording must be a complete and unedited record of all open portions of the meeting from beginning to end, and be labeled with the meeting date, time, and place. All or any part of an open meeting may be independently recorded by any person in attendance if the recording does not interfere with the conduct of the meeting. Pending minutes means written minutes of an open meeting in draft form subject to change before being approved by the public body that held the open meeting. Pending minutes must contain a clear indication, such as a draft or pending watermark, that the governing body hasn't yet approved the minutes, and that the minutes are subject to change until the public body approves them. Approved minutes means written minutes of an open meeting approved by the public body that held the open meeting. Entities must establish and implement procedures for the public body's approval of written minutes. Public meeting pending minutes, approved minutes, and recordings are public records under GRAMA. Any individual who publicly presents information relating to an item on the public body's meeting agenda must provide a copy of the information for inclusion in the public record. Make pending minutes available to the public within 30 days. Within 3 business days after approving written minutes of an open meeting, make approved minutes and any public materials available at the Utah Public Notice website, the entity's primary office, and the entity's website. Within 3 business days after holding an open meeting, make an audio recording of the open meeting available to the public for listening.
Okay, there you go.
Whoever invented this tool deserves a raise.
All right, that's it. That satisfies our training requirements. If anybody has any questions.
Talking about the closed meetings, I mean, if, let's say there was a lawsuit or something like that, could the records of that closed meeting be, the word subpoena, or is, I don't know if that's right, could that then be opened for a court case?
Yeah, for litigation, for everything, we have to record that session and maintain that. And then if somebody asks and says, hey, you violated, you talked about stuff that wasn't supposed to be there, then a judge would review that in camera and see if it was violated, and if it was, then he would disclose it. But if you're talking about security devices or someone's competency, that does not get recorded as long as the presiding body, the chair, the president, or the mayor signs a certificate saying that is all we talked about. Then you can turn the recording off. But yeah, you can get that closed meeting stuff. But you have to file a motion and a judge has to review it. So.
What would be the reason of a closed door meeting for a planning commission?
Can't think of one, really.
I can't think of one.
Yeah. Have we ever
City
tried
council.
one? Yeah.
City council, I understand.
Yeah, we do it with the city council every once in a while. Most of the time, it's litigation or purchase of property. So. All right.
But I can tell you why that law was created. I know a guy that served on the Salt Lake County Planning Commission for years. Maybe I won't say his name, but anyway. The state, the county, it was always interesting that this gentleman would end up just a few weeks before an acquisition of a right-of-way or a school or anything, this particular individual had the property under contract.
Yeah, was able to manipulate and control. Yeah.
He did it for years before they shut that down.
That was his business model, huh?
There.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it's intended to protect, exactly. So, okay, thank you.
Well, thanks for the goodies.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is our item 6, which is our Community Development Director report, and any items from the commissioners.
Last night, Castlewood Development presented their concept plan for 700 North. It's here before you. This is the west side of the plan. We had probably about 60 or so residents attend. It was very well attended. They made about a 15, 20-minute presentation and then answered questions for about 40 minutes. And then they had boards up front that you could put dots on what if you liked or disliked something. And then they had some comment cards. Their plan is to go to the city council next week for a concept discussion with them again. Again, concept plans are no approvals, it's just information only type items. And so this is the west part of the plan. So they're proposing on this corner here 156 residential units. They're working with a rehabilitation group that when you get out of the hospital, this is where you rehab. They're looking at about a 4.5 acre site. And then the frontage would all be retail or restaurants or fast food. You have this town center area. So you've kind of got an upgraded entrance into the development, retail on both sides or restaurants. You've got about a 1 acre park area. They gave some different options for that, what it could look like. That they were kind of very similar, all of them, having either having a water feature, having a stage, having a grass area, having, I think it was interesting, the dot that everybody liked was the swings.
Nice.
That the hanging swings that you could just sit out there and relax. And then they're looking at, again, retail or restaurants around that open space area, and then either a grocer or some junior anchor tenant there on this area. And then to the east.
Before you leave
Yeah.
that, wasn't rehab one of the things that we disallowed recently?
Assisted living isn't allowed.
This is considered not that.
That's right, yeah.
From the way they talked, it sounded like it was more a short-term rehab.
Rehab after construction.
Yeah, it's probably like a Stonehenge.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like they're a national company. Their facilities are really nice. They didn't say the name of the company, but you can see the name of the company on the building right there.
What is the name of the company?
It says Encompass. Encompass Health is the group. They've got, if you go look at Google Maps, they're all over the country, and they're big facilities. The residential units would be 4 stories. Encompass property would be 2 stories. Everything else would be single story.
How do we get any sales tax from a rehab center?
We don't.
We don't.
No, that wouldn't bring in much.
Um,
So, I'll go ahead and finish and then I'll ask questions.
And then the east side, this is near the tracks in 700 North. They have planned 136 units and then a small drive-through pad site there on that corner. The
Hey,
area,
remind me, so was that part of the ICO or Ivory?
no, ICO is this one.
Was in back of there
here.
to the south?
Yeah, they have 380 units that are
Okay,
planned
so this
there.
doesn't take up any of what we had set aside for residential for Ivory.
It does not. And then this middle portion, they don't have anything planned for that. They have, we'll discuss whether or not the city may buy that or whether they will work together and trying to get an anchor tenant in, but the plan either way is to get an anchor in there on that 18 acres.
Does the company, Castlewood, do they feel any kind of responsibility to bring in that anchor? Or are they leaving that completely to the city too?
No, if they can find somebody, they would bring them in. Their development group
Yeah,
would work that out. They're not totally dependent on us, but I think it'll be a joint effort, you know. Or we may just buy it. I don't know. The council needs to analyze that and see if that's something they want to do or not.
We bought the deep part back,
That's right.
but we don't own that frontage.
We don't. We bought the 8
Who's
acres.
entitled to that right now?
Castlewood.
Castlewood did purchase it.
They have it under contract.
They have it under contract,
Yeah.
okay.
okay, so where is the portion that we bought already?
Yeah, let me pull up the county parcel map.
We did try to buy that front part, but the Andersons wanted to sell all the frontage in one parcel together, so they wouldn't sell just that section to the city when we bought the acreage behind.
So here's the corridor.
Actually, did we bought that from Ivory, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
bought,
Ivory was entitled, yeah, on that.
yeah, so we bought that 8 acres from Ivory in the back. Castlewood
But
has
not the
that.
frontage.
Not the frontage, no.
So if for some reason Castle did not close, it's still owned by Anderson then?
Yes.
Is ICO hesitating on the
On their multifamily?
multifamily?
From what they told me, because they came and got site plan approval.
Yeah.
And then they pulled out a couple months later. Interest rates had went up at that time. They just said they weren't ready to build.
So those apartments aren't going forward right now.
Not right now. I haven't heard anything from them for probably 6 months.
So what's the feeling? I mean, an awfully lot of this south side is gonna end up being residential.
When
If
I
it
look,
goes, I mean,
when I did the numbers today for the council, and 33% of the south side would be residential, then the rest of it would be commercial.
that's a little bit different than our first idea was no residential.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we saw their last concept plan, it had 375 units. They've dropped that to 292. It covered about 36% of the property. Now it's 33%.
Do you know what the council's feelings are on that much residential without a big box or?
I don't. I haven't had really any discussions with them. I think they're happy to see the numbers go down, but I haven't had many discussions with them.
As far as if they're down far enough?
Yeah.
I think there's a recognition that there is going to have to be some residential in there.
Right.
It's just getting to a number that everybody feels comfortable with.
Right. Oh, I'm sure they'll have to be, yeah.
They had really good feedback from residents. The residents were actually pretty happy with it, from what I've heard from neighbors and things. They just were concerned about parking more than anything.
Yep.
That's always going to be a concern with.
Yep. It's the residential's parked at 2 stalls per unit. That meets our city code. This west residential, it's got 312 parking stalls provided, 312 required, 312 provided. The one on the west side, it has 297 required, 313 provided. So it's got 16 more for this development on the east side.
On the west side piece, is any of that underground or is it all?
It's all surface.
It's all surface out there. It doesn't look
Yeah.
like there's that many spaces, but there must be.
Yeah, there's a total on this west side of 1,126 parking stalls.
I ought to do it. Two spaces. You know, a lot of
That's pretty
cities,
good.
yeah, a lot of
1.5.
cities have gone well below that for their
Yeah.
multifamily. So I think if we hold it to 2, we should have plenty of parking.
There
was
was
my
a
thought.
resident sitting close to me that kept saying, that's not enough, and I'm just going, for this type of housing, that seems to be a generous,
I mean, in
amount.
Salt Lake, they're going with half a space per door.
Most are 1.5.
Yeah,
It's generous, but it'll still be
It'll be,
yeah.
crowded. I mean, it always is. I mean, where you have empty housing. Especially, at least around here, where everybody needs a car. You
Well,
know,
up there, they make the argument that it's close enough to rail that it's supposed to be a
This
walkable
eventually might
community,
be,
but
but-
we can't go there until we have rail.
yeah. I think that's one of the concerns is.
And that's, I think the Ivory project is parked at 2 or 2.1, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So the council, on Monday night, gee, I can't hear. Monday night, they will hear a concept review. I'd like to be here, but I can't, but it will be on Zoom, all right?
It'll be on the city's YouTube.
So we can play it afterward or whatever.
Yep.
I do have a question, Mike. He was saying that they were going to do drive-throughs up there. Those are conditional use though, right? Is that what the council had decided?
I believe that's what they had
I
decided.
think in that core district, which is this area, I believe all drive-throughs are conditional use.
Okay.
And then with the development agreement, we can be a little more specific too. If we wanted to say these 2 pad sites cannot be, drive-throughs, we should highlight that.
I think it's the ones between the apartments and those that he kept.
Yeah,
Same
these
way.
2 right here.
Mhm.
And I think they've got some banks, that are
Oh, interesting.
interested as well.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen that new grocery store down in Vineyard?
Yeah.
That's pretty dang nice, isn't it?
Is it open?
Yeah, it's open.
Where is that?
If you were gonna go down Geneva Road and turn like you were gonna go to the theaters, you'd just stay on that and go over the overpass and it's just off to the west there, but it's like a smaller version of like a upscale Harmon's.
yeah, it's Lee's,
Yeah,
Associated Grocery.
Trader Joe's would be kinda nice right there.
you know what, it's about the size of a Trader Joe's store, maybe a little bigger.
The mayor and I have talked to Trader Joe's, their representative, and they don't like to they don't like to be the first business in a location. They like to go in an established area already, from what they told us, a successful area already, so that they don't have to worry about being the first ones.
Yeah.
That's what they told us.
Well, Rod knows about getting Trader Joe's.
I wish they'd get some in some other places. I have to go to Trader Joe's before I go out of town to deliver to my children. Wish they'd put one in St. George real quick. I'm tired of hauling groceries to St. George.
Yep. For those who weren't there last night, or for those who were there last night, is there any other feedback that maybe you heard that you'd want to share with the rest of the commission?
Just conversations with several city council people on concerns with the numbers of residential still, whether that really meets what they want.
That's probably my
Of the
biggest concern.
council or the citizens of the council?
I just have a hard time giving them the residential without them bringing the big box. You know, if they want the city to buy the property, go find the big box, take all the responsibility. They get all the residential. That's the part that doesn't sit well with me right now, is that they haven't found that tenant. If they had that tenant, I'd feel much better about giving them some residential. But when, at least last I heard, they kind of want the city to buy it, the city to be, so it puts it all on the city's shoulders.
Yeah, they were pretty non-committal about that.
Yeah.
But to play devil's advocate a little bit, it's all about rooftops and demographics for these big boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
I think they did a good job at listening and moving the apartments away from the city center and things like that. I really appreciated.
Yeah, my other concern is acre doesn't seem like that holds very many people.
Yeah.
So that's not, a city center, a place for a concert with a stage or whatever with swings, you're gonna have to get in line to get one of those swings, and it just seems, it's pretty small. I mean, that's my other concern, that you look at it and think, oh, it's this big.
Yeah, an acre's not very much.
That's not very much. I think they said that grass area is 10,000 square feet, so that's
Right.
someone's backyard basically is all you've got there.
I think we have to be ready to, when the north side develops, we'll see a lot of requests for residential too.
Just what's needed right now, is that? or
I'm not
what's
saying it's
selling?
not neat, I'm just saying, well, if we're doing this much on the south,
Yeah,
you're gonna get a lot of requests for residential on the north,
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
because that's where it's at right now. That's what
Gotcha.
developers are trying to do right now.
Yeah. Speaking of the north, anything on the sports complex?
The mayor and Scott Thompson and Councilman Stewart met with the owners last week, said it was a positive discussion. They're gonna decide this week sometime if they want to move forward on it.
Because I suffered through another volleyball tournament, walking 1.5 miles to find a parking spot this last weekend, so.
You must have been in North Salt Lake?
Yep.
You, huh?
No, I was in Mapleton. It was nice.
Yeah, no, that North Salt Lake one, oh.
A couple of comments I heard. Residents want to make sure there's dense trees along the south property line. They do have a nice, at least the Ivory portion has a nice 6-foot wall. They said they would rather have more trees than tear out their 6-foot concrete wall, and to trade that 6-foot, instead of tearing it out for a 7-foot, they'd rather have more trees or evergreens or something. One lady really wants a library down there, which would be awesome.
She was very
It's
vocal.
not gonna happen, though.
Some were concerned about the stage in this location right here, because they're worried about the proximity to the residents. The developer also brought up, well, if I put it up here and turn it the other way, then I think the sound may go more towards the residential that way. Architecture was an important discussion. They want to make sure the architecture is higher end here, than other places. They said they would start construction first or second quarter of 2027. There would be a public access easement recorded on the open space but privately maintained. The apartments will have their own set of amenities. There will be street furniture and lighting. There was some concern about resident or visitor parking in the retail areas. I think those were most of the ones I took. So,
I thought it was interesting, they brought up the valet garbage pickup.
yeah,
You don't have to take out your own garbage, they come pick it up every day, so
yeah, that's
So
really
it's not-
popular right now.
you don't drag it through the hallways.
Yeah, that's definitely in the back.
That's interesting.
So, seems like
The small, the grocery
upper
store
scale
behind
Yeah.
housing.
left it open.
But, so that's one thing, I thought
Visibility there.
for a big box, that you're required to do some moderate to low income housing. This doesn't seem to fit that bill.
No, it's only if we give an incentive to the,
Right, but so,
but
is
we
the
don't
city
have,
gonna get in trouble if we do something like this, let this come in, and then the city goes and gets a big box? Now we don't have low and moderate housing, we have high-end housing.
Yeah.
That's a concern I have too, that we're not thinking about that
yeah.
requirement.
That was
Yeah,
a
and-
concern from one of the city councilmen I talked with after as well. Nicole.
So there is state requirement that we have the Lindon Village RDA down there, 700 North RDA redevelopment area. We're collecting 5% of the tax increment off that property, off those properties in that area, the state requires us to collect 5% to use for affordable housing in that area. So we need to figure out how we're gonna use the money we've collected so far and will collect over the next 10 or 12 years or 14 years towards housing in that area too.
So you don't think these apartments would fulfill that?
We could if we work something out with Castlewood.
Yeah,
Or
we
we,
can, we can calculate what the square footage would be and come up with and put in a development agreement that they will reserve X number of units to meet that.
and we can also go back to Ivory, since they haven't built anything on their apartments either, that we can work something out with them as well.
And Ivory on their apartments, they're not saying anything about when or if or,
No, I need to reach out to them again. Like I said, it's been about 6 months or so since I talked to them last.
Is there an expiration date to that development agreement?
I think just when everything's developed.
I don't, if it is, it's 50 years out. It was a good length of time, I'm sure.
Site plan approval has expired,
Yeah.
but from what I've heard, the state legislature is looking at passing something this year that trumps
yeah.
development approvals from expiring.
Keeps them from.
Yeah, keeps them from expiring.
Interesting.
interesting.
For a couple, I don't know if we're done with that. Couple other ordinances we're working on to bring to you is a updated floodplain ordinance. FEMA has adopted, they call it a coastal V zone and coastal VE zone. Over the last couple of years, they've been measuring in storm events, the wave heights from Utah Lake. This won't have much effect on us because all we really have is Lindon Marina, but they've adopted some new floodplain designations around Utah Lake for those wave heights. So we'll be bringing that to you. And then Brian and I are also working on updating our cell tower ordinance.
I saw a presentation that Carolyn did for Republican women yesterday, and she did a great job. She was talking a lot about the educational center by the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Where are things at on that?
We have a letter of understanding that is going back and forth, and last time we heard anything from UVU and the state was about, 6 months ago, but Adam just reached out to them again saying, hey, it's time to get this going again with the session coming up, so that should be moving pretty quick again, but we're really close to having that letter of understanding on how we want to proceed with it,
So it most likely will go forward.
funding, if we can get the funding, that's what it's all about right now. So I thought we were pretty close to having some funding, and then it
John Curtis was able to get some federal funding, but that got rolled back.
comes back.
Oh, did it? Okay.
What do we know about Lobuk cells?
Yeah, so from what I heard, so we have a new business license for a new car dealership to go in there. Next Gen Motors, I think they're in Orem. From what I heard, they came in and made Lobuk Sales an offer they couldn't refuse to buy their property, and they purchased the property and are going to be relocating their dealership from Orem to Lindon.
They were in Lindon at one time.
Oh,
Yeah, it seems like it, doesn't it?
They were right over here, by the 7-Eleven.
okay.
And
I
then they
think
went to
you're right.
Orem, and now they're coming back.
Yeah.
Where are they at in Orem?
Just kind of
Rand
about
Robbins.
1000,
Right across
1100
from,
north, 1000.
Quickwhack, north of Macy's.
Yeah.
So are they a good car dealership or?
They're a used car dealers.
They're a used car
Well,
dealership?
Old Book was too, but.
Lobuk was too. They seem, I mean, I looked at their website, they've got a lot of really nice cars on there.
What, did Lowbook just want to go out of business, or what are they?
No, they have a big dealership in South Salt Lake.
Want to
And
consolidate?
I think they
Yeah.
just consolidated it.
I think used cars are
It's tough right now.
tough
isn't it?
right now. It's depressed. And so if they had an opportunity to sell their property, they
Yeah.
jumped all over it.
It was a big property to sell.
Yeah, it's a nice place.
Yeah.
So new cars are the big thing right now?
I don't know if there is a big thing in cars right now. I think we're all a little bit depressed.
I think it is with new cars. I mean, you go by the Hyundai dealership and they've got 2 or 3 models, 0 interest rate,
Yeah,
compared to buying a used car where you
yeah.
have a higher interest rate, so. Anything else for city staff? Okay.
Yeah, I appreciated Castlewood at least bringing that information to the citizens, and I appreciated listening to it too.
I was glad it ended in an applause instead of jeers or yelling or something, so that was good.
There's not been a run on the city for Somalian leering centers, has there?
No.
Why do you ask that?
Looked like a good business.
You know what he's talking about? I'll tell you later.
We don't have any.
That's not on the agenda, let's not close this one up.
I guess I missed that part.
If there's anything else, I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll
Second
second,
it?
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously.
Years on that Ivor development.
Is that what it